Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let the sounds of a crackling fire and a distant flowing river guide you into a state of deep relaxation. Tonight, we journey back in time to a world woven with ancient wisdom and the quiet magic of the wild. Settle in, get comfortable, and let your mind drift as we share an old native legend. A story passed down through generations, the tale of a wandering bear who sought his true purpose beneath the stars. In a vast ancient forest where the trees whispered secrets to the wind, lived a great bear known as Great Paws. He was wise, with eyes that held the depth of the forest itself, but a quiet restlessness stirred within his mighty heart. Though he had everything a bear could need, a warm den, plentiful food, and the respect of all the forest creatures, he felt a sense of incompleteness, as if a vital piece of his spirit was missing. Each night, as the moon cast its silver light upon the world, he would dream of a distant mountain, its peak glowing with a soft, ethereal luminescence. This dream called to him a silent promise of something more. One night, as the forest slept under a blanket of stars, Great Paws was awakened by a voice. It was not a sound he heard with his ears, but a whisper that resonated deep within his soul. The voice was soft yet powerful, like the rustling of ancient leaves or the murmur of the earth itself. It was the mountain spirit, the very same one from his dreams, calling out to him across the miles. "Great Paws," it whispered, "your path is waiting. It lies beyond the familiar trails of this forest. You must embark on a journey of discovery, a journey that will ask for all your courage." The bear's heart quickened. He knew this was the answer to his restlessness. With a deep breath, he left his den and stepped into the moonlit night, ready to follow the call. His first trial began as he entered the dark woods, a part of the forest where the trees grew so close together that they blotted out the sky. It was a place of profound silence, where shadows danced and twisted in his peripheral vision. Whispers seemed to coil around him, ancient spirits of the woods testing his resolve. Suddenly, a sly fox with eyes like amber glinted in the darkness. "Lost, are you, Great One?" the trickster asked, its voice smooth as silk. "Follow me, I know a shortcut." The fox tried to lead him in circles, down confusing paths meant to discourage him. But Great Paws stood still, closed his eyes, and listened not to the fox's words, but to the quiet hum within his own chest. He felt a gentle pull, a certainty that guided him forward. He had learned his first lesson, to trust his own intuition over the misleading words of others. Leaving the woods behind, Great Paws came to the edge of a wide, shimmering river. This was the River of Echoes, and its waters were not ordinary. Instead of reflecting the sky, the surface swirled with images from his past. He saw himself as a young cub, stumbling and falling. He saw moments of fear, a failed hunt, the sting of loneliness. Regrets and insecurities rose up like mist from the water, threatening to pull him under. The river whispered his failures back to him, trying to convince him to turn back. But the bear remembered the mountain spirit's call. He took a steady breath, stepped into the cool water, and focused not on the swirling images, but on the firm riverbed beneath his paws. With each step, he acknowledged the memories, but did not let them hold him. He accepted them as part of his journey, part of who he was. As he reached the other side, a profound peace settled over him. He had learned to cross the river of his past without drowning in it. As Great Paws shook the water from his fur, a new figure emerged from the riverbank. It was an old turtle spirit, its shell covered in moss and etched with lines that looked like ancient maps. The turtle moved with a slow, deliberate grace, its eyes holding the wisdom of 1,000 winters. It looked at the bear and spoke, its voice raspy and kind. "Every journey inward," the turtle spirit said, "begins with a single step outward. You have faced your shadows and your past. Do not falter now." The turtle nodded its ancient head toward the horizon, where the peak of the glowing mountain was now visible. "Your strength comes not from forgetting your burdens, but from learning to carry them with grace. Continue onward, brave one." The mountain is waiting. With that simple encouragement, the turtle spirit receded back into the quiet landscape, leaving Great Paws with renewed determination. The final trial was the mountain itself. The air grew thin and cold, and sharp winds whipped around him, testing his endurance. The path was steep, covered in loose rocks that slipped beneath his powerful paws. Every muscle in his body ached with the effort of the climb. There were moments when he felt he could go no further, when the warmth of his den seemed like a forgotten dream. But just as doubt began to creep in, he heard new whispers on the wind. These were not the taunting voices of the dark woods, but the supportive murmurs of his ancestors. "You are strong," they whispered. "You are of our blood. Keep climbing." It felt as if the mountain itself was alive, responding to his courage, offering him footholds where there were none, and shielding him from the harshest winds. He pushed onward, his spirit fueled by the voices of those who came before him. Finally, exhausted but resolute, Great Paws reached the summit. The peak was bathed in a soft, silvery light, and standing before him was the mountain spirit. It was not a fearsome figure, but a calm, powerful presence made of starlight and ancient stone. The spirit spoke, its voice filling the air around him. "You have arrived, Great Paws, but the purpose of your journey was not to find something new at the top of this peak." The spirit gestured back toward the forest below. "It was to remember the strength you already carry within you. You faced down trickery, you made peace with your past, and you found the will to climb even when you felt you had nothing left. That is your true purpose." The bear finally understood. The restlessness he felt was not from a lack of something, but from forgetting his own inner power. As a gift for completing his journey, the mountain spirit touched its ethereal hand to the bear's chest. A soft, glowing mark, like a captured star, appeared on his fur. "This is the symbol of your journey," the spirit said. "A mark of wisdom, courage, and the peace you have found within. From this day forward, you will be the protector of the forest, a guide for those who feel lost just as you once were." The light was not just on his fur. It now glowed from within, a warmth that filled the emptiness he had once felt. Great Paws was no longer just a bear. He was a guardian, his purpose clear and bright as the mark on his chest. When Great Paws returned to the forest, he walked with a new sense of peace. The trees seemed to bow to him, and the animals gathered, not in fear, but in silent respect. They saw the glowing mark on his chest and the serene wisdom in his eyes. He was no longer the restless wanderer, but the calm, centered heart of the forest. He had found his place not by searching for it outside, but by journeying within. And so, as you drift off to sleep, remember the story of Great Paws. Like the bear, your own great journey of discovery begins the moment you decide to take that first brave step into the unknown. Rest now, and dream of the mountains you have yet to climb. Sleep well,